it's Lindsay. Welcome back to the Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing my October TBR. Now I know what you're thinking, I don't usually do monthly TBRs, but for the last few months of the year I thought I would do sort of like themed TBRs to see if that kind of idea works for me. Now what I don't mean is that last year I was picking sort of like themes out of a jar, so like Reading the Rainbow or book to movie adaptations or something like that. What I'm talking about is taking part in reading challenges or picking books based on some sort of a reading challenge or something kind of along those lines. So I've decided for October that I want to have a go at the Romance Readers reading challenges. Now this is a group, Romance Readers Reading, I think that's the name of the group. It's on Goodreads. I will leave a link to it in the description box below. And every month they have these monthly challenges, and they do other challenges as well, like do yearly challenges and quarterly challenges and things like that. Every month I hear Sarah pick some of her TBR from Steeped in Books based on this challenge, and it always really intrigues me. So I figured I'd give it a go. I'd pick some books based on that, and what I wanted to also do is try and cover a few different bases, so to be reading a couple of books off of my physical TBR, a couple of ARCs that I have, some Kindle books, like that kind of idea. So to try to cover a range of different things, but also I think challenges like this give me the opportunity to rediscover books that I've had in my TBR for a long time and sort of forgotten about because I have so many of them, and just sort of like rediscover again. So there are 10 challenges in this reading challenge that they do every month, so let's go through the challenges and what I have picked out. Okay, so challenge number 1 is O is for October. Read a book that starts with O, or a book whose author's first or last name starts with O. So I'm going to be reading Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill. Never read a Louise O'Neill book before, and I have 3 of her books on my TBR. And this, I believe, is sort of like a dystopian book where women are created for men. I kind of get that kind of vibe from it, but they're not sort of real women. Yeah, I don't really know. It sounds kind of strange, the premise, but I've heard so many people say such good things about Louise O'Neill's writing, I kind of figured that it was time to give her a go, and this is one that I have on my physical TBR. Challenge number 2 is Bird of the Month, and this month it's the swan. The swan symbolises grace and beauty on many levels. It is associated with love, music and poetry. In Roman mythology, the swan was sacred to Venus, the goddess of love. In Greek tradition, this bird was often pictured singing to a lyre. So read a book set in Greece, or with a Greek main character, or sort of character in general, or where a character plays an instrument or has something or someone beautiful on the cover. So I have picked to read Summer Nights by Jill Sanders. This is the first book in the Wildflowers series, and this is an ARC that I have on my Kindle. I believe this came out in August, so the release date is already gone, but this is a contemporary romance book, and that's basically all I know about it, but I picked it because it has a particularly nice cover. Challenge number 3 is the Featured Author Challenge. So this month they are the Queen of Romance, Nalini Singh, and the Princess of Romance, Sherry Thomas. So you can read a book written by either of those 2 authors, or any author with either of their first or last names. You may also read a book set in China, or with a character where English is their second language. You can also read any book published in 2008, or that is shelved as romance, fantasy or mystery, or a book by an author who's won a Rita Award. So quite a few different options there. I've gone for a book that was published in 2008, and I'm going to be reading The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein, and this is a book that I have on my Kindle. I've kind of like been thinking about it again recently because the film has come out, and I think it's told from a dog's perspective, or it definitely features a dog as a main character, and it's like a massive part of the family, like that kind of idea. It's probably going to make me cry, but there we go. Challenge number 4, October is Adopt a Dog Month, or Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. Read a book that has a dog or other animal in the story, or includes best friends, so like the example of Man's Best Friend, or a person who does volunteer work, or an animal on the cover. And I'm going to be reading Until November by Aurora Rose Reynolds. This is book number 1 in the Until series. This is another contemporary romance book, and this has a dog that features in the story basically, so it fits for that category. Challenge number 5. October is National Apple Month. Read a book where the characters go apple picking, or a storyline involving farming or ranching, or something that has a red cover or something round on the cover. And I'm going to be reading Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. This is the first book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. This is a series that people love in the romance community. It's a paranormal series. I think they're vampires or they're werewolves or something kind of along those lines. This is quite a long running series, and there are still books that are being published. I think one came out earlier this year. But I've picked it because it has a slightly red cover, so I've gone for it for that reason. And obviously October's like a spooky month, so for that reason as well. Challenge number 6. October is Bullying Prevention Month. Every October, individuals from across the nation and around the world unite in a campaign to keep all youth safe from bullying. Read a book where someone has been bullied, or with children or teens in the storyline, or with someone being kept safe, or with a teacher, social worker or psychologist. I'm going to be reading The Understudy, and this is by Sophie Hannah, B.A. Paris, Claire McIntosh and Holly Brown. And this is another e-arc that I have, and this is being published on October the 3rd. And this is a thriller novel written by all 4 of these writers, and I believe has something to do with someone being bullied. I was really intrigued just because it's obviously written from all 4 of these women, and books that are sort of co-written intrigue me because I sort of like, how do you sort out who's writing what and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to be reading that and finding out what I think about it. Challenge number 7. October the 3rd is Balloons Around the World Day. Read a book where someone goes on a hot air balloon ride, or with a colourful cover, or set in a country other than where you live, or a character who is filled with hot air. So I'm going to be reading Fountains of Silence by Rita Sepetys. This is another e-arc that I have, and this is coming out on October the 1st. I absolutely squealed when I realised that I was approved for this on NetGalley. I absolutely love Rita Sepetys. She is one of my favourite authors, and I've been highly anticipating this book for a really long time. So yeah, when I was approved, I just, yeah, couldn't wait. So I'm going to be reading it pretty early on in October. I've pre-ordered myself a hardcover copy of it as well. Can't wait. And this fits the prompt because it's set in Spain. Challenge number 8 is October 28th, Chocolate Day. Read a book where chocolate is mentioned, or a character is involved in the food industry, or has a chocolate cover, or something sweet on the cover. That's your interpretation. I'm going to be reading Bittersweet by Serena Bowen. This is book number 1 in the True North series. This is another book that I have on my Kindle, and it's a contemporary romance series, and I've gone with the idea of, well, it has the word sweet on the cover, and maybe you could say that the couple on the cover are sweet too. Again, don't really know anything about the series, but I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Challenge number 9 is October the 31st is of course Halloween. Read a book set at Halloween or another holiday, or a book where characters wear a mask or a costume, or are otherwise disguised or hiding, or a book with full colours on the cover, or a book from the paranormal genre. Quite a few options there. So I'm going to be reading Halloween Boo by Sarah Spade. This is book number 1 in the Holiday Hunk series. This is a novella. I bought it a few days ago actually, after looking, there was a whole conversation on Twitter from some people who I follow in the romance community, and they were kind of really exclaiming over this book. I think because it's a retelling of Practical Magic or something like that anyway, and there were a couple of people who'd spotted it in the Twitter feed, bought it, read it that day, and then were kind of commenting in the Twitter feed about kind of like what it was like. Yeah, so they were kind of really exclaiming of it, and obviously it's a Halloween romance. You know, the cover is just so great. I just absolutely love it. So yeah, hopefully I'll enjoy that one. And finally, challenge number 10 is Reader's Choice, so just pick a book of your choice to read, and I'm going to be reading A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. This is the bridging novella in between the original series and the follow-up novels. and I was inspired to pick this up again because the Wicked Wallflowers Club podcast that I listened to, they were talking about it on a particular episode that I was on the other day. It was in the 30s. And yeah, they were talking about this book that they had been reading it recently. I'm kind of behind. I think this was like June last year or something like that. And yeah, it kind of gave me the inspiration to pick this book up again. I did actually try listening to this on audio in April, but fiction books don't tend to work for me on audiobooks, so I never finished it. But it's quite short, so I'm hoping that it will be relatively quick for me to get through this month. Okay, so there you go guys, those are all of the books that I have picked out to read in October. We'll see whether I like reading in this kind of style. I'm not going to I'm going to try and stick to this TBR and sort of see how it goes and report back when I do my wrap up at the end of the month. So yeah, we'll see then. If you've read any of the books that I've mentioned, you know, please have a chat with me in the comments below, and what are you planning on picking up in October? Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.